City. There's still a little backup, 79 to TR Hughes. Bryan Road out to Lake St. Louis. Eastbound, you've still got a jam coming through our city. Westbound 370 approaching our city to the 94 is backed up. Westbound 364 still jammed, 270 to 141. Westbound 64, again, we're just talking about the jams. Almost everywhere is slow, but these are the jams. Westbound 64 still jammed from pretty much Clarkson Road to west of the Boone Bridge. Then it's starting to pick up the pace. They did just before the top of the hour reopen westbound 64 at Research Park. North 270 from Ladue all the way up through 70 in the Rock Road. It's bumper to bumper crawling. Northbound 141 from Ladue all the way up to 364 is backed up. Southbound Creve Coeur Mill down to 364 is on the brakes right now as well. And southbound 55 still a jam. South of 140 midway down between, or south of 4 midway down between 140 and 143. And northbound a shorter backup in that area. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. Apply today, get a call today. Hiring bonus up to $4,000. Benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Apply today at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
News, traffic, and the latest from the world of sports. This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Guys, welcome into Monday on Rush Hour Sports. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you. Thank you guys, by the way, for taking care of business while I was out last week. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Good to see you, boys.
It's great to have you back, Wheels. And give me some advice off the air about how I can get your schedule. All those good,
you save all your
days off, brother.
You save all your vacation days for the last 2 months of the year. That's how you do it. It's a really simple plan.
Kevin, we got Sonny Gray traded. I don't know what you've been working on, but you leave and we get Gray traded.
As soon as I walk out, we get a good
trade. And by the way, let me bring Matt Pauley into this. I want to say I think it's really unselfish of you that you work year round for KMOX and you basically get about 6 or 7 days off for the entire year. So you're a team player, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah. Unless I get admitted to the hospital and then I get a few extra days in there.
Well, you guys know how this works, right? I mean, service time in the union is what gets you your time. So, I got a little more time in.
Don't get defensive, man. I'm just horsing with you.
No, I'm just telling Matt to have hope. It's coming. The time is coming. You're going to be there soon, buddy. You'll have all those too. Well, I missed out on all the great stuff. I did get a chance to watch your video, Bern. I did get a chance to catch you guys a little bit last week on Tuesday talking about the Sonny Gray trade, and I think there's still a few things we can get into here. My favorite thing about it is the aggressiveness of it. Get something done quick. I know there's more to do, but and I don't know that it mattered that much. I heard Chaim Bloom on with Tom this weekend talking about getting this done and how they were in a position to get better by eating some money, which is great. But I like everything about the idea. We don't know if it's going to work, but from a conceptual standpoint, every part of it is a good sign to me.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny Gray was going to walk after one more year. The Cardinals aren't going to contend with him in the rotation. They'd be better off with the innings and all that. But Sonny Gray's also a guy that has made 2/3 of his starts as a Cardinal at Busch Stadium because they're scared to pitch him on the road. That says a lot. But Chaim Bloom set out to get a young starting pitcher in the major leagues who could, in theory, he could plug in 2026. He got that in Richard Fitz. And he wanted to acquire a lottery ticket and someone who has the arm talent and just the high velocity and a killer slider, just great stuff. But he's very inexperienced and he's volatile. But he wanted to get that guy.
Yeah.
And he got Brandon Clark. I thought he did very well. He knew what he wanted, and he went and got it.
And something you kind of alluded to there, Kevin, I think it's really important that they were willing to pick up as much money in Gray's of Gray's salary. This is a once in a really long time moment for the Cardinals where the single goal is to infuse the organization really bottom down with as much talent as possible. And if it means spending some money, And we saw them spend some money on Sonny Gray. They eat $20 million. They're going to have to eat a large portion of the Nolan Arenado contract. There might, if a Wilson Contreras ends up being traded, maybe they have to eat some of that contract. But if they are willing to spend that money and not just be a one-time thing with Gray, but they do that with others as a way to maximize the return, you might be able to press the turbo button a little bit on this rebuild that they've got going on, because that's the opportunity to bring in more high-level talent.
And Wheels, I want to throw this to you. You got to appreciate, in a relatively short time, Bloom has added a lot of power arms to this
Big time.
organization.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, big time. I mean, we saw his influence on the draft, right? I mean, with Doyle and Franklin, and not to say that other guys aren't power, but I mean, these are high. We're talking guys upper 90s, touching 100, where, Quinn Matthews misses bats, but yeah, he's topping out 94, 95, which again works. It's fine. I'm not saying that you have to throw 100, but it's clearly a different thing. And you guys have both kind of talked about this. We've all talked about the idea of building up the bulk. And you don't have to hit on every guy. We know that some of these guys are gonna bust. Some of them are not gonna make it. But if you have 10 of them, the chances are 3 or 4 are gonna make it. If you have 5 of them, well, that means maybe 1 or 2 are gonna make it. So the idea here is to give yourself as many chances with these kinds of guys as you can get. And, I looked at it this way. This past weekend, on Thanksgiving weekend, I was playing on FanDuel. I was having a good time betting on college football and doing some NFL stuff. And I did a lot of small stuff because, Bern, if I don't love a game, I'm not doing anything real on it.
Right.
So I was just playing for fun. A little bit here, a little bit here. Well, I think I made 10 bets, couple of parlays, all that. And I only won 3, but I won money. I'm ahead. And I think that's kind of the analogy for what the Cardinals are trying to do. You're going for these guys that have high upside. If you hit on 3, great. You've now got 3 big pieces, either in the rotation or in the bullpen.
I got a couple. This is a related note. I got a couple, 3 text messages from friends and acquaintances over the weekend. They said, well, Brandon, I get it. This Brandon Clark's got great stuff and all that stuff. But, what guarantee is there that he'll actually be the guy they think? And my answer was, I'm sorry, did you just start following baseball? Is this new to you? There are no guarantees.
No.
What the hell are you talking about? No. They don't exist, especially with young, volatile, power arm pitchers who have very little experience, but it's worth taking a chance on.
Yeah, it is. And you got it. Like you guys said, you have to bring as many of those people in. Yeah, just to clarify one thing I said, because we got a comment on this when I was talking about Wilson Contreras. Matt says, no way they have to eat money on Contreras. They don't have to. You're right. But what if they do eat money on Contreras and that results in a better return?
Right,
that's the point that I'm trying to make. Yeah, Wilson Contreras is not overpaid. He's worth every penny you give. But if you trade away Contreras and you send some money along in the deal and you get something better back, then that's what I'm talking about. So that's the thing to remember in all of these deals. This is you rarely get to literally buy prospects. This is the Cardinals' opportunity to go buy prospects.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, right? It's like, and I think Chaim is even kind of, I don't know if he directly said it as much as talked around it, but part of the reason they were able to go as big as they did in terms of the return was eating the money. I think he kind of said that with Tom on Sunday. And so, yeah, they probably could have traded Sonny and not included any money or included less money, but it would have meant less talent in return. And that by extension, I agree with the other Matt on the chat that you don't have to eat money for Wilson, but if you do and you make that contract a lot easier to swallow for someone else, your return's probably going to be a good bit better.
That's absolutely right. So I'm curious to see. It's interesting. Brandon Clark won't be part of the rotation in 2026. No. I think a really good chance Richard Fitz will be.
Yeah.
I think this guy, the more people I've talked to and the more research I've done, I think he's actually better than I thought at the moment they made the trade. I mean, I really like his upside. They just got to get him to eliminate some pitches and focus on what he does best. They'll be able to make him better. So, you look at 2026 and we all have concerns about their pitching depth and rightfully so, but it'll be interesting to see who will surface, I guess, in 2026. Will Quinn Matthews be up here? Does Liam Doyle get on the fast track? Is there somebody else? I think Chaim Bloom, I don't know about you guys. I'd be really, really surprised if he does not bring in one established starting pitcher. Now the cost of starting pitchers are starting to go up, as everybody kind of expected. So
Sure.
I don't know what kind of price range we're talking about.
No, it's just somebody that's going to be eating some innings. And since we're on this topic of eating money, I'm not going to go through all of this now. Lauren threw us a question, and Lauren, hello. She's a daily viewer. Always great to see you on the stream. This is what we want to tease to coming up next, because this applies to the Arenado conversation. How much you're willing to eat could determine whether or not another team is actually, he's appealing to them in that way, because we know he's not what he used to be. So we're going to build off of that and continue with some hot stove on a snowy day. Coming up next, it's Rush Hour Sports on KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Mr. Robert Hyland, the general manager of KMOX Radio.
There, when we took a stand.
What happens when an irresistible force meets an immovable object? That familiar old puzzle could well be a description of the current impasse on Social Security. Our Social Security system is moving like an irresistible force toward insolvency and disaster. Congress must rally its courage and deal with the Social Security crisis head on. Strengthening Social Security is the test the new 98th Congress can't afford to fail. Thank you.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station. Get your tickets now at stlpolarexpressride.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-458-1375. That's 800-458-1375.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo at Hannaford. It's got twang.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, some good news for North County drivers. The plow trucks came through, and they now have, it's pretty much one lane open, single file, but it's open now. Northbound 367 past New Jamestown. They're just sort of following the plow trucks up. I guess they're going to go all the way across the bridges toward Alton, so just be prepared. It's still backed up from, or at least done up through New Jamestown, but at least you can get through now. It looks like single file, though. Eastbound 270, that's still a solid jam from 367 all the way over through the Chain of Rocks Bridge. Highway 70 both ways is still bumper to bumper between the Rock Road and the Blanchette Bridge. Westbound still backed up 79 through TR Hughes opens up before you get to K. 370 is still on the brakes from the Mills west of the Mills, I guess, out to 94. Westbound 64, that's still crawling from Clarkson all the way to about Research Park, but at least traffic's getting through. Still a jam to a point west of K, and eastbound still backed up across that Boone Bridge as well. If you're on northbound to 141, you're bumper to bumper from Ladue all the way up to 364. Southbound from Creve Coeur Mill all the way down to 364, still on the brakes. 364, 270 out west to 141 is still a solid jam. North 270 backed up from Olive to 364 and from Dorset up to 70. Southbound 270 south of 370 down to 70, still bumper to bumper. And southbound 55 south of Route 4 down midway between 140 and 143 is still crawling in Illinois. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Back in talking baseball on one of the snowy days already here today. Been awful. Been great to have Roger Brand keeping us up to date on the roadways, and we'll keep doing that through the rest of this hour. And then we got Monday Night Football pregame coming up at 6 o'clock, so no Sports Open Line tonight. And then you've got the Patriots and the Giants on Monday Night Football here on KMOX. Back to the baseball thing, and I'm going to pull up Lauren's comment because I think it's at the heart of what we're talking about here. And for those that are watching on the stream, you can see it. I won't read the whole thing, but she asked, what about Nolan Arenado? Because we were talking about eating money, facilitating a way to get more in return. With the Arenado thing, guys, obviously we're trying to clear playing time for other younger players. And you don't want to commit to a player who's aging and in decline when you're rebuilding. I mean, that's just counterproductive at that point. But this case, guys, I don't know that eating the money is going to get you anything more in return. It's just going to make it more likely that you can move the player, right?
Yeah, Matt, I don't see any return at all, other than maybe a body. I just don't see anything coming back.
No, it's getting another team to eat as much as possible, and then maybe getting some sort of low-level prospect, not even a lottery ticket where a bunch of the numbers are already scratched off and they're not winners, and you're hoping just to get something like that's That's kind of what you're looking for. Maybe that turns into something, maybe it doesn't. But I'm sure, Chaim Bloom at one point said that, just designating him for assignment, moving on is not an option. I'm sure they're going to try to get him somewhere, and they're going to try to get out from as much money as possible. But I still don't really know what that's going to look like and how much they're able to get out from under.
Yeah. It's not easy, and it's a limited. He has control. He's got to say yes to whatever deal, just like last year. So a lot of it will come down to him too. And then following that up, Kelly has an interesting question. Said, how much money can we give away to do other deals? Are the DeWitts willing to spend time to get returns now? And I think this is an interesting thing, guys, is this money is going to be spent either way, right? This money is going to be spent. Is it going to be spent having the guys on your roster while you're rebuilding and trying to create space for others? Or is it going to be spent getting newer players and prospects in and also creating opportunity for the guys in-house? I mean, the money is not really the issue, right? This is why all of us have wondered why they haven't done this before. Because you're spending the money either way. You cut your losses.
And the thing of it is, and you guys know I harp on this, so I apologize, but I still don't really understand why there's so much focus on the Cardinals payroll, like as a standalone issue. I just don't get it. The Cardinals this past season spent more money than Cincinnati and Cleveland. They made the playoffs, right? The Cardinals outspent them. Why did they make the playoffs? Because of their player development system, where they drafted and developed better players than the Cardinals, and they had a cheaper roster because they didn't have to have an expensive roster. In 2024, the Cardinals outspent the Guardians, Orioles, Royals, Tigers, and Brewers. Where did it get them? Those teams are smart, and they know how to spend their money, and they know how to draft and develop and to tap into the international market. So why are there so many what I call single issue voters? The only thing they care about is the Cardinals payroll size. And Kelly, I'm not saying that about you.
Right.
I don't get it. When do we wake up and realize there are other ways to put a great team together? It might take a little more time, but you don't have to, you don't have to outspend you don't have to be in the top 10 or top 12, upper half. You just don't have to be.
It's the low-hanging fruit of criticism, and it's the opposite of how we should actually assess things. Like when I make a decision on how I'm feeling about something, first off, I always try to be open that maybe I'm wrong and I can look at it in a different way, but I take all the evidence and add it together, and then I get my equal sign, and that's what I believe in because I see all this other stuff. There's way too many people out there. They have their answer, and the answer is the DeWitts are bad owners. The DeWitts need to sell the team. This is all the DeWitts are cheap. So then you got to find things to put in front of the equal sign to make that happen. You already have your result. So now you just got to find stuff to reinforce that. So that's where this payroll thing comes in all the time, because it's people who have already, I think, made their decision on the DeWitts, which I would disagree with that end assessment.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? What, you don't think having a top 5 major league team over the last 30 years is good? I mean, it's embarrassing. I can't believe that an ownership that's is a top 5 in terms of success over 30 years. I can't believe that there would be people that would actually defend that and say, hey, it's actually been pretty damn good. Who are these people? Sell the team. I'm being facetious, of course.
We got an interesting message from Henry Wells, and we only got like a minute and a half, but we can do this pretty quick. He said the diehard Cardinal fans will stick with the franchise no matter what Bloom does because we trust ownership and front office. Well, of course, he's there. He said it doesn't mean, though, that it's not painful watching household names leave. I think that's true. I think we all agree, Henry, that it is painful when you have to do some rebuild, but sometimes the painful things, whether you apply that to working out, whether you apply that to investing and saving money for your future, whatever, and I'm not talking about baseball, those are just real life examples. Sometimes the painful thing is going to be the right thing long term. Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it does suck. It does suck watching the Cardinals be a seller. I think we all agree with that, but we also, the three of us agree, and I think a lot of other people do too, that it is time and it is necessary.
Absolutely. And I think Chaim Bloom's going about it the right way, and we can talk about that. I know we're up against a break, but I did some research, like how many people the Cardinals have hired since last December at this time. It's pretty amazing.
All right.
You know?
All
so
right.
Anyway.
That's a really good tease. Let's hit that. We'll do that on the other side of the news. We're going to keep you updated on traffic. It's Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here on Rush Hour Sports on KMOX.
Attention business owners with a net income over $500,000. You need to work with a tax strategist that understands your entrepreneurial mindset. Download the most recent white paper written by E3 Consultants Group titled The Power of a Professional Tax Strategy Team. Go to e3wealth.com/radio to obtain a copy. It's time to learn about wealth and tax strategies that protect your personal and business economy. E3 is ready to help you think differently about your finances. Educate, empower, enlighten. That's the E3 difference.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
At 5:30, we have light snow, 25 degrees downtown at the Arch. Our top story, Ukrainian officials met with U.S. President Trump's representatives yesterday, and Washington officials are expected in Moscow for more peace talks this week. However, diplomats face an uphill battle to reconcile Russia's and Ukraine's red lines as a U.S.-led push to end the war is gathering steam. The White House says that the Navy admiral ordered a second strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean Sea and is now insisting that the September attack has come under bipartisan scrutiny was lawful. President Trump's ex-lawyer, Alina Habba, has been disqualified from serving as New Jersey's top federal prosecutor. A federal appeals court said today that the Trump administration's maneuvers to keep her in that role were contrary to federal laws governing appointments. After 4 days of deal-fueled spending sprees that kicked off the Thanksgiving shopper season, well, it shifted into Cyber Monday, which is again expected to be the highest and largest day of the online retailers. And MoDOT admits there are snow-covered highways. Bob Becker says they thought the snow would move in during the rush hour this afternoon, but he says it came earlier than they expected. The result has been highway closures, accident after accident, all on snow-packed roads. Our forecast From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, tonight snow, that dry snow ending by midnight. We remain under a winter weather advisory until 12 o'clock. We could see another 2, maybe 3 inches of snow, a low of 20 degrees for tomorrow, partly sunny and cold, a high only 32. Right now, 25 in St. Peters. It's 25 in Florissant, and downtown of the Arch, it's 25. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THELOU. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code THELOU in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Cyber Monday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Cyber Monday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Looks like autumn has arrived, and all fall long, a Metro Transit Day Pass is still just $5, which makes you just one click away from your one-day mental health fall getaway. Plan your trip at metrostlouis.org.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, picking it back up on Rush Hour Sports. We're all feeling hot stovey today, so we're going to keep rolling with that. There's always time for other stuff, but when we're feeling hot stovey on a snowy day, let's just keep on rolling with it. Bern, tell us about what you looked up, because you were talking about, and obviously we're doing a lot of baseball today and kind of unpacking still some of the parts of the Sonny Gray trade and philosophically what it means and picking up money. But you also said you've done a bunch of digging here on the number of people that were brought in, and which is a big part of where the Cardinals went wrong is they got a little bit of a skeleton crew, but they're fixing that.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to be whiny again. Sorry. The people that only pay attention to Major League payroll, of course, either will not acknowledge this or they don't care to. They're bored by it. They don't think it's like, so what? Well, I did some research, and by my best account, Bloom announced his first hires on December the 4th, 2024, when he brought in Cerfolio and Larry Day and Matt Pierpont. And who am I missing? Oh, the performance guy, George. Yeah, the strength and performance guy, George Cohen or Cocan, or I forget his name. It's bad. So it was about a year ago when he made his first hires. And then, of course, the team that he put together at the higher level, the guys I just mentioned, then they went out and hired people. But Bloom, ultimately is responsible for all this. The best that I can tell, the Cardinals have had like 36 new hires working in the baseball operation, whether it be, whether some of it is like, joining the major league staff, most of it is player development and minors. And I know that there are 4 other pending hires that aren't official. So soon enough, there's going to be the count for new hires to transform the Cardinals during this rebuild, to give their prospects the best shot of success in the majors. To give them every tool and resource they need. The Cardinals very soon will have hired about 40 people to help make that happen. And it touches every aspect of a baseball operation, from scouting, international scouting, regional scouting. I mean, all kinds of sports medicine, sports therapy, new trainers, more trainers. I mean, it's just on and on and on and on. New coaches, new staff hires for the minor leagues, specialized instructors. I mean, if I hate to be the shameless self-promoter, but if you go to STL Sports Central and read my free column on this, you'll see a list of all the positions they've added. And it's really kind of remarkable. But no, Bill DeWitt doesn't spend any money. No, he doesn't spend money. So nobody cares, right? I'm being facetious again.
To that too, Bernie. Let me also just add one other part. I think it's actually been rather impressive. There have been some members of the John Mozeliak tenure that have walked out the door, but for the most part, a lot of the people who have been here are sticking around. It would have been really easy for Chaim Bloom to look at somebody like Mike Gersh and say, you know what, you don't fit. But instead what he did is said, okay, you are going to fit in this kind of way. So nobody has worked for the Cardinals who doesn't have some type of qualification and isn't in that spot for a reason. So not only has Chaim brought in a lot of people, to your point, Bernie, he has kept a number of people and found the best role for them.
He told me he wanted to be fair to the people that were here, and he had a long time to identify people that he thinks are good, and he's kept a lot of them. And the other thing I'll add very quickly, I gave you the list of new hires, how many. They've also promoted a lot of young people in the organization to a higher level job, because Chaim Bloom thinks these people are really, really smart and can fit into where the Cardinals want to go. So he's actually promoted people within. And again, we're talking about young and up and coming front office talents, no matter what their responsibility is.
All right, real quick, obviously snowy day, crazy traffic. We want to update you one more time real fast. On the other side of Roger Brand, we're just going to get right into this. We got a couple questions on the stream about the Cardinals outfield that we're going to toss out there as soon as we come back. But first, let's get an update, man. It's messy out there, Roger. How's it looking?
Well, it's getting a little bit better, Kevin, but we still have delays, obviously. I'm just going to mention the jams because that's there's still a lot of them, unfortunately. Northbound 367, they reopened it at New Jamestown, so now traffic is sort of backed up from Lindbergh all the way up to 94 in West Alton. They're just sort of following the plow trucks up that way. Eastbound 270 better, but still backed up 367 most of the way to Riverview. 70 both ways between the Rock Road and Earth City, still bumper to bumper. Westbound 370 still jammed west of the Mills to the Discovery Bridge. Westbound 364 approaching the Creve Coeur Lake to the Veterans Bridge. Across those bridges is still stacked up. Westbound 64 still a backup, just crawling from Chesterfield Parkway West all the way to the Boone Bridge, and there's a little backup at Highway 364 after that. Eastbound's a little backed up coming through Clarkson toward Timberlake. I'm sure that's Blues game traffic. Again, traffic slow where I'm not talking about around most of the area, but these are the jams. Northbound 141 still jammed midway between Ladue and Olive all the way up to 364. Southbound south of Marine down to 364. That's still bumper to bumper as well. And southbound 55 still has a jam from approaching 140 midway down to 143 for Metro East motorists. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Thank you, Rod. Yeah, it's been a bit of a messy day. Glad it's starting to get cleaned up a little bit as we go along here because I got to leave in about 20 minutes. I'm hoping it's going to get...
It doesn't have to be this hard. I lived in Wisconsin. Guess what? They always had the roads taken care of.
I know.
You go over across the bridge to Illinois. They always have it taken care of. I don't know what's going on, but it is terrible. I really appreciate the drivers out there behind the plows and everything, but I think the people who put together the plan on how to do this need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, start earlier. That's what I'm telling you. Start with this earlier.
So what you're saying that this is not, it's not the snow me state, right?
No.
Hey, I'll say this.
No.
The city streets look pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hey,
last year,
Kara wanted to do something, and she took care of it. Thank you, Kara Spencer, right?
All right, let's do a little more on this. So we got a couple different questions, guys, on the outfield. Sure. Enrico Palazzo with the first of all, great reference, but also says, do you know if there are any plans to acquire young outfielders? Cardinals don't seem to have much high upside outside of Joshua Baez. And Garland threw in a separate question about the outfield, saying if they, or I guess maybe this isn't directly the outfield, but asking if they're going to look at a power bat. And I'm not sure that we'd be looking at a power bat, guys, of any immediate impact. I'm sure they're going to continue to look for power, though. That's what they've been seeking, both in hitters and pitchers, when it comes to the draft and the trade market so far. So you guys take that anywhere you want. I would guess the power bat we'd be talking about would not be a 2026 impact. It would be a longer-term one. But I could see a need for an outfielder to help out, especially if it's a right-handed hitting one, depending on who you trade.
Yeah, these type of questions, and thank you for the question, seriously. But these things are kind of difficult for me to answer because I don't know exactly Bloom and his team are looking for. Like obviously I don't have I'm not privy to inside information of the type of young outfielder they want to acquire in terms of profile and whether that outfielder would even be, available unless you pay a fortune for him. So I really don't have a good answer. I do know this though. And he's a left-handed hitter, but the new regime, they really like Nathan Church a lot. So he's not just some fringy guy. I think they would like to have a situation where he earns a lot of playing time going forward, and we'll see. But Baez may be closer to the majors than we originally thought. I know Baseball America said, and I know Fangraphs has said the same thing. They've changed their projection. They think he can be in the majors at some time next season. I mean, I'm a little more skeptical of that, but he's starting to move up fast.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I do think there's actually a scenario. I'm not sure if this is an over 50% scenario, but I think there is a legitimate scenario where still in this offseason, the team trades away Arenado, Contreras, Gorman, Nootbaar, and Donovan. And if that happens, well, that probably pushes Burleson over to first. Maybe Herrera gets a little bit of time over there. We'll have to see. But you're going to have to get somebody to play the outfield. If some version of that ends up happening, they're going to have to bring some people in, and you would think that they would be looking for certain skill sets. And it's going to be a flawed player. I think anybody that's brought in this year for the major league level, especially somebody who doesn't have a ton of years of control connected to them, it's going to be a flawed player that bringing in. But most players are flawed.
Yeah. Maybe a platoon bat.
Sure.
Yeah.
And a guy that, like you just said, Matt, I agree, is not going to wow anyone, but he can perform a role and do an acceptable job. Again, this is what a rebuild looks like, So you got to pick your spots. You're not going to spend lavishly on a spare part or a platoon guy.
You hit it earlier, Bernie. I think the one thing that's safe to assume is that a starting pitcher who has some track record will be signed. Probably not a top 1, 2, or 3 guy, but somebody that can be like, all right, that guy's going to get us 160, 170 innings. We need to count on that. And then if younger guys are pitching better, then they can take that spot.
And like Scooter Baseball, and thank you for that, says, please tell me why a Bloom-led front office would entertain Andre Falante, there you go, as a starter after that disaster of a season. I don't think they're entertaining anything. I think they're going to invite everyone to camp and see who wins a job.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I mean, what would be the point of them saying, well, let's just dump this guy Palante now? What's the point of that?
Nothing.
I mean, I'm not a Palante fan. I'm not a fan of
neither.
his pitching at all.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, you know, it's not like you throw him onto the junk pile right now.
No.
I think Matt Pierpont and some other people they've added who are really good with pitching, maybe they can find something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But don't assume that Bloom is like he's in love with Andre Palante's pitching.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
No, I would agree.
But they're gonna give him a chance just to see what happens.
Yeah, I'd agree. It seems like the approach should be go win a job. You got to go win it. To me, the only two guarantees right now are Liberatore and McGreevy, and then probably Leahy, depending on how he handles the increased workload, which I assume will be fine. And everybody else, and even those guys probably have to compete at least a little bit, because if they go out there and they're trash, I mean, this is a new front office. They can do things differently.
Yeah, at one point I did think Palante was a non-tender candidate, but once you make the decision that you're probably going to move on from Sonny Gray, I think that comes off the table in that moment, because that's just one less guaranteed job that's available in the bullpen. I'd be disappointed if Richard Fitz does not begin the season in the rotation.
Yeah,
big
give him
league
some
time
health, yeah.
last year. So I would, we're mincing words here, Kevin, but I would put Fitz almost third on that list in front of Leahy in terms of my thoughts of likelihood to be in the rotation.
The only concern I'd have is that he had the neuritis at the end of last year, and that's just a little. It's a physical concern, not a performance one. So yeah, that's a good point, because I think if they got him, they're going to give him every chance to go out there and show that he was worth something. Hey, we're going to stay with Hot Stove, man. We thought maybe some college football today, but this is rolling. Let's get to a little bit more Hot Stove coming up on Rush Hour Sports next here on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank, recognizing the Guardian Angel Settlement Association as a building community partner. Guardian Angel serves under-resourced community members, helping them take the first step on the path to possible. They assist over 5,000 individuals in our community through their early childhood education and social stability programs. To learn more about Guardian Angel, Google Guardian Angel STL. Busey Bank encourages you to get involved. Together, we can build community.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President at Busey Bank. At Busey, community and giving back are at the heart of everything we do. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbors and your partners. We take pride in engaging with the communities we serve and building lasting relationships, because our commitment to strengthening our communities is a top priority. Whether you're shopping local or giving back through volunteerism, every little bit counts. Join us at Busey Bank as we continue building the communities we call home.
Get into the spirit of the season with free holiday concerts by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America, December 6th through 12th. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Save big on automotive supplies at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products that will help keep your vehicle on the road. Prevent diesel fuel from gelling in colder climates with Howe's Diesel Treat. It cleans and lubricates fuel injectors and is effective to negative 20 degrees. Get a 64-ounce bottle of Howe's Diesel Treat on sale for $11.99 now through December 7th. Check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we've got EMS responding for they're reporting it as a rescue crash northbound 270 near the Clayton Road overpass. It could be in the right lane or on the right shoulder. It's hard for me to tell with the snow, but it is over on the right-hand side, at least if you're headed that way. North 270 north of there is still backed up from Dorset up to 70. Southbound's backed up from 370 down to 70. Westbound 70 jammed. 270 most of the way to Blanchette. 370's jammed. Earth City out to 94. 364 from the Creve Coeur Lake to the Veterans Bridge, still pretty much stop and go. If you're on westbound 64, you still got a jam all the way through the valley to the Boone Bridge. Eastbound 64, Clarkson into Timberlake, you're bumper to bumper. Northbound 141 is still stacked up north of Ladue all the way to 364. Southbound between, let's call it Creve Coeur Mill down to 364. That's still a solid jam. Eastbound 270, a couple of pockets approaching 367 at Riverview. Northbound 364 from the Lewis Bridge up to 94 and West Alton's backed up. And there's still a jam southbound 55 approaching Route 40 midway down to 143 for Metro East drivers. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
4 minutes or so left here. We got a couple more questions popping in on the hot stove side of things, which has been fun because I need the hot stove on a day like this, guys. I don't know about you guys.
Sure. Yeah.
But we had Garland throw in there. Seeing Jordan Walker at Driveline is fun. It'll be fun to see if anything comes out of it. Yes, it's Driveline, and I really think they do good work, and I think they help a lot of guys. But even if it's not specifically them, the fact that we can see that he's embracing that there are things to fix and things to work on is the part that encourages me the most. Because it felt like all along he's been either resistant or not trusting the work or whatever, but going out and doing it, to me, is a good sign. It doesn't mean it's going to work, but it's a good sign.
Yeah, I think it's good for him to get new voices, new eyes on his work, his problems. He's also working with some of the new people the Cardinals have brought in. Their facility's not open in Jupiter because it's
still being built.
Yeah. But they've been meeting at a place away that's close to Jupiter where they can work on some stuff. I'm told he's been working really hard this offseason. Does that guarantee anything? No. But it's good to hear that he's working hard on solving some of these issues.
Derek Gould wrote a story last week at the end of the week that was really, really good, that went through everything that he's been doing, and would encourage people to read that. And he's doing yoga. He felt like, I think in his one of the things he said to Derek was that at times he felt like a statue last year, that he just wasn't able to move. So everything that Walker said in that Derek Gould piece was encouraging. That being said, everything that Jordan Walker said last year at winter warm-up when he came in looking jacked was fantastic. And then he had one of the worst seasons of any player walking the face of the earth this past year. So, look, it's good to hear. Let's see what it turns into.
Yeah, I like the comp. I like to make the comp between Jordan Walker and Spencer Torkelson. Torkelson's like 1-1, right? He's first overall pick. A little different animal there, but he had some success, but had similar struggles with his setup and his approach. And it wasn't so much the swing as it was being ready to get the swing off, and he was too mechanical, too stiff, too robotic. And all he did the previous offseason to 2025 was work on being more athletic in the batter's box. Be in an athletic position where you can do athletic things. And I think from that perspective, it makes a lot of sense what Walker said.
Well, to add to your point, I've been digging around, and one of the things that Chaim Bloom and the people that he's hired, one thing that they're really, really, really big on, and they don't think that, maybe the Cardinals have paid enough attention to it in the past, which is body. We're talking about hitters, weight distribution, also movement in the box. Like, in other words, you have to get to a place where your body movement is smooth, and it basically put you in a position to where everything comes together. If you're clumsy in the box and you're like, you're off balance, or you're leaning one way or the other, and your movement is just really klutzy, you're probably not going to be a good hitter. So I think they're working hard with Walker on that body movement, because it really does matter.
Yep.
Last thing on this, I know we're up against it. At the end of the day, the thing that's going to be most impactful for Jordan Walker is swing decisions.
Yes.
It was the thing that was most impactful for Alec Burleson this past year. And it's the thing, if Jordan Walker fixes his swing decisions, everything else is just going to follow suit.
Yeah, it's the simplest thing to say and the hardest thing to do, but stop swinging at sliders low and away and you'll be better. It's all a question of how much better, right? I mean, because you do have to have what you talked about, Byrne, the ease of movement, the balance. You don't want your head moving all over the place in the batter's box. Just think about this. And I only got 30 seconds. I can do this in 10 seconds. The ball's coming at you already at 95 to 100 miles an hour. And if you're moving your eyes and the ball's moving, it's really hard to track that sucker. So keeping your head still and maintaining balance matters, but so does deciding what to swing at and when to swing at it. Great stuff, guys. I needed baseball talk today coming off this snow and all that. Now I'm getting ready to get out there in it. You guys enjoy the evening. We'll do this again later on in the week, and I'll have a regular show tomorrow night. What we got next, no sports open line. Matt, enjoy the short evening because we got Monday Night Football, Patriots and the Giants after the news here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech.